Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful Wednesday evening, the 20th of October. I am Numerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. As you see on the screen is my guest that's coming up in a second. A good friend, a dear brother, and actually a brother in every sense of the word as far as I'm concerned. Nobody can tell me different. There are going to be a few things I'm going to announce, but hold on. Let me get some things straight first. Whoops. Okay, here we go. Hi, everybody. Anyway, you are on with Live with Lloyd, where the joy of numerology is the joy of learning and enlightenment. It's about raising your consciousness, your kundalini, call it what you will. And before I bring my special guests on for all the special reasons, I want to let you know that, I always do the cosmic forecast, and I'm just going to make one or two announcements, and then we'll bring my special guest on. I think he's going to kind of do somewhat like Kai was doing my Monday guest, during your personal year, because so many people have chimed in, so he might do that. Actually, it's his show, for all the right reasons, which you'll find out later. But anyway, for the cosmic forecast, the sun is still in Libra. On Sunday morning, it goes into the sign of Scorpio. So right now, this is called the cusp, the 20th, 21st, 22nd. But actually, in this case, for this particular reason, for whatever, it doesn't go from Libra into Scorpio until Sunday. All right. The moon right now was up to early this morning. It was a full moon day. So if the last couple of days you saw the moon in all of its glory, all nice and round and glowy, that's because the sun and the moon were opposition signs, which is Libra and Aries. That was in this morning, but now it is in Taurus. And then on Saturday, the 23rd, it will go into Gemini. Now you see why astrologers and people like that I'm going to have in the future. I'm going to have a very special guest on Monday, an astrologer out of Boston, who will understand this. So this way you can get all kinds of readings. Numerically, it's a 6 universal day. A 6 universal month. Simple. I took 2021, this is the year that we're in, that adds up to a 5, added to the 10th calendar month, that would add up to 15. Therefore, 5 plus the 10th calendar month equals 15, and 1 plus 5 is 6. So thus, we've gone from a 365-day cycle to a 30-day cycle, which is this month. So that means that this is a 6 month for October. It'll be a 7 month for November, okay? And it's an 8 universal day, because when I added the 6 universal month to the 20th day, that got to 26, and 2 plus 6 is 8. All of this is explained in my class, Know Your Numbers. Now, before I go on, what I want to do is I want to let you know, just an announcement that, okay, here we go, that coming this Saturday, the 23rd, I will be in Detroit, the Motor City, with Kaya French. We're going to have it's going to be a wonderful thing. I suggest that all of you in the area come out, or if you don't, you probably know somebody in the Motor City or the surrounding areas like Lansing. I got a call today, a person that's coming all the way from Lansing, the capital of Detroit, that's about an hour and a half away, or 90 minutes, something like that, to come in to see one of us. So what I'm saying is, this is the flyer that we want you to attend. And if you have any questions, there is a phone number at the bottom, as you see. It's 866-331-5088. That's 866-331-5088. There are bookings already. We both got bookings, so we're only on a limited time between 1 and 6 p.m. So it's a first come, first serve basis, okay? So now we got that done. Oh, and by the way, I do want to thank everybody that responded to my guests, all my guests, especially to Miss Kaya French this past Monday. That was so cool. So anyway, let me I got to bring on my brother. This is one of the baddest cats I know. And he wrote an interesting book. Okay, let me see. Here we go. Brandon, how you doing, buddy?
Brother Lloyd, yes, sir. Thank you for having me on.
Okay, I never go by a script. Oh, hold up. Let me get this out the way. Like, share, and subscribe. I gotta go there. Like if
Yeah,
you like it. You know my stuff is genuine. It's not so much about the numbers as the genuineness and the sincerity of either liking, sharing, or subscribing. And for those that have done that, shared, subscribe, and whatnot, thank you. I say much appreciated. Okay. I'm about quality, not quantity. Quality is what's up. Okay. For me. Anyway, Brandon, happy birthday today, buddy.
thank you, Brother Lloyd. Thank you.
Good. Now, it's interesting. Before we came on, you said there was an interesting thing that occurred also on your birthday before,
Not on my birthday, but on January
on
the
the
20th.
20th, rather. Yeah.
Yeah, January the 20th was when I first appeared on King Simon's show. It was on a Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Well, you know what's interesting? This platform, I have to give King Simon credit for bringing me into the 21st century, okay? That you don't dial a phone anymore. You pick it up and you know what I'm saying? So, anyway,
Exactly.
this platform I'm on now is due to him, and I'm learning some of the bells and whistles. And we're going to have a lot of people calling in. Please call in, submit your birthdays and whatnot. Brandon's got something special. Brandon, okay. Let me say this. You do a couple of things. You are a numerologist, you're a spiritual consultant, you're an author, and you're a musician. So I'm going to work backwards. Musician, what do you do?
So I'm a pianist, organist. I've played in church pretty much my entire life. My parents started me playing piano at the age of 4. And then I started playing in church. My dad's a pastor. And I started playing in church. I believe I was like 12 or 13. And here it is 20 years later.
Still doing the work, right?
Still doing it. Still
Yeah,
doing it.
that's nice. That's nice. I'm going to leave author for last. A spiritual consultant. Now, that's interesting. What do you mean?
So I am actually a licensed and ordained minister under the Mount Pisgah Baptist Church in Brooklyn, New York. Bishop Johnny Ray Youngblood is my pastor. And I got into this work of metaphysics in terms of studying numerology, astrology, with a group that I was working with called the Noble Touch. We'll talk about what I do with them once we get to that part. And that's actually how I met you. We were on the call that night with, I think it was like New Year's, and you would come on and do readings for our personal development or one of those calls. And you gave me a mini reading, and from there, we kind of we met up. I started studying numerology, but I was also I was a minister, and coming from maybe 4 or 5 generations of ministers. My father's a minister. My grandfather wasn't a minister, but then the great grandfather was, and then great grandfather, and then great grandfather was, and then they built schools.
That many generations of men from the cloth?
Yeah. So I would technically be considered like a 5th generation minister.
Okay. Continue.
And so that's and that's always been my whole life. I started preaching at the age of 6. I had stuffed animals and teddy bears, had a microphone, PA system, and all of that. My
really?
mom, yeah. Hey, listen, Lord, ain't no joke, man.
I mean to laugh, but it shows the beauty of imagination when you're a child. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, Lord, the story gets better, man. The story gets better. I had my brother join the church. We had a friend from down the block who I made join the church. And then one night we were running revival in my bedroom, man. And my mom came in and she said, "If you don't get that racket out."
That's funny.
And I was like, "Mom, don't interrupt the service before the offering."
Yeah, the offering. Yeah, the offering is definitely a part of it.
Yeah, And
that's
so, man,
funny.
So that was when I first started sensing this call to preach. This kind of divine calling on my life. I preached my first official sermon. I was, I believe, like 12 or 13 years old at my father's church in Bermuda. if I could go back in time, I would apologize to that church for such a bad sermon, and I'd, give them a new one.
Well, listen, when you're 12 years old, as far as they're
Yeah,
concerned, that's one of the best sermons a young man could give. The fact
exactly.
you would have the spirit at that age. Now, as an adult, if you gave that sermon, they probably talk bad about you, okay?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now, question: what about your brother? Since you dragged him into revival and all that, did he wind up following your path too?
So my brother's a musician. He's a church musician. He plays at a church in Newark. We've actually started playing the same time. I was 4 years
Really?
old. He was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
When I was playing music at my father's church around 12, 13, my brother was actually my first drummer. And so we were kind of like that dynamic duo where I played the organ and the piano and he was on drums. And then
Rhythm
after a while,
section.
he started
Oh yeah.
learning organ. Yeah. And then, other opportunities started making themselves available. So he went and got another job at another church. And then I had to find another drummer.
Well, here's one of the beauties of having you on today, other than it just coincidentally happens to be your birthday. Since I've been doing numerology, I have 3 religious bodies that seem to have a problem with what I do when it comes to numerology. Yet you don't, and you come from generations of men in the cloth. Okay, if I named it, don't y'all take it personal. I'm just telling you, born again Christians,
Mhm.
7-day Adventists, and especially Jehovah Witness. They have a problem, and yet when I say the Bible is a numerology book, they really seem to take offense. You coming out of the cloth, the fact that you allowed me to teach you, the fact that you wrote a book, which we'll talk about later, and I like it because, in fact, let me show you. No, I ain't gonna show them the book yet. I'm gonna let them wait. I'm gonna let them wait. But the fact that it was about explaining numbers and whatnot, what do you have to say about that? Because people think that numerology or that we do in metaphysics is equated with religion, and yet it is not. What is your take on that?
Well, when I met you, one of the things you said was that what we do is a science. It's an ancient African science, and so once you said those words, ancient and African and science, you had me right then and there. It wasn't like I had to convert myself to any kind of belief system because I don't believe in biology. I study biology. I don't believe in chemistry. I study chemistry. And
Ah,
so if numerology is a science and I don't believe in it, I study it so I can get a better understanding of it. And then as I looked at the Bible, I mean, firstly, one of the things you talk about is that the Bible has a book of numbers. It's called the Book of Numbers.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
can't find you're the one who said to me you can't find a certain book without going to a certain chapter and a certain verse. And so for me, when I looked at what are some of the apprehensions or some of the pushbacks, I guess you could call it, as it relates to the metaphysics, I really just think it's about a misunderstanding. There have been some false teachings, what the church circle will call false prophets. I can also say that there have been some false prophets in terms of representing what the metaphysics is all about, because these sciences actually tell the story of the divinity and humanity.
Why is it you think that this clash has occurred where one is a belief and one is a science? Yet, like recently, one or two of my guests have made the reference that they're trying to again relabel what we do as a pseudoscience. You know,
Well, it boils down to these two words, Brother Lloyd. You trying to get me in trouble with the good old church folk?
no, no, no. You man, you know how we roll. You know how we
Yeah,
roll.
exactly. Hey, listen, man, whatever. It boils down to religion versus spirituality.
Ah, I got
That's
you.
that's
I
really
got
what it
you.
boils down to. Religion is
Okay.
a set of rules and standards that's been put in place, that you have to abide by in order to gain a certain status or achievement. That's one definition of religion. I don't want everyone come attacking me saying that ain't what religion's all about. That's just one dimension of truth. Whereas spirituality is a more universal approach to understanding that God is divine and God is truth. And if you can find truth, you can find God. And so I can find truth in numbers. That means I can find God in numbers. If I can find truth in the zodiac, it means I can find God in the zodiac.
In fact, your subtitle of your book is "Seeing God Through Numbers." In fact, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying. So,
Yeah.
so I think that's very interesting. I've always had a question. I used to be an altar boy, sleep with a Bible under my pillow every night, all that, and we're all sinners, and I wasn't smoking, drinking, sexing, nothing. So
Mhm.
am I missing something, or maybe I'm not understanding the biblical context of why everybody's got to be a sinner?
Mhm.
Do you see what I'm saying? Can you
Yeah.
explain that to me?
Um,
I mean,
yeah.
I want you to call out with the church, okay? But I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah. No, and listen, this is thankfully, I'm comfortable enough in my own skin to be able to defend what I
thank
say
you,
online.
thank you, thank you. There
And
we
the
go,
things that
right?
I'm gonna say tonight are the same things that I say in my church. So it's not like it's
Do
gonna
they
be
do this?
nah, not at all. Um, the thing about sin for me, as I study the scriptures, as I view it, as I look at it from multiple understandings and dimensions, sin is not an action problem. Sin is a belief system problem. So when
Interesting.
I have a
Interesting.
belief system that is contrary to how I was originally designed as a spiritual being, that's come from light, when I have a belief system that's contrary to that, and I believe it, right? So firstly, I've heard this concept, and that's where the story in Genesis talks about, where the serpent says to the woman, "Did God say?" He's not
Mhm.
he's not really getting her to do something. He's getting her to question her beliefs. And so once you understand, your true self, your true nature, and the God in you, um, that is when you're, in my opinion, a saint. When you don't understand your true nature and the God in you in that relationship, that's when you're a sinner and you believe something to be contrary to that nature.
Okay, okay, because they try to really make you feel like guilty. Now, and here's another thing too, because I've been over my years of doing this. It says, well, in the Bible, it says you're not supposed to do it. I don't. Is the word astrology or numerology actually a word used in the Bible? I don't
The
think
the
so. You
word
know,
the
what
word
we give it that
astrology.
context. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, those words do appear, well, astrology in particular does appear. Interesting you asked that. Today I was telling you I was preaching at my
Hmm.
service this afternoon, and the passage that I used was Daniel chapter 2, verses 17 through 19. And this is when the king basically has this dream, and he wants all of the wise men, the magicians, the enchanters, the Chaldeans, the astrologers, the sorcerers to come in and to tell him what his dream is and to interpret his dream. And
Hmm.
so there are some instances in the Bible, especially in a lot of the prophetic books, in terms like Ezekiel, Daniel, Revelation.
You
Um,
mean they actually use the word astrology, astrology?
mhm,
Really?
yeah,
Okay. I gotta
yeah,
look that up. Not
yeah.
you know me. I'm a researcher, so
Oh
okay.
yeah, absolutely. Now and
Okay.
then there's another instance. I believe it's in the book of Esther, where they were planning an attack. And what the if I can I'm going to paraphrase it, was that they basically went around the zodiac to see when would be the best time to do it. I think it says like they cast
Uh,
lots or they cast pearl.
uh, uh-huh.
And what that is that's a reference to checking the zodiac to see when would be the best time to make their move.
Well, if they said going around the zodiac to look for the time, I know exactly what that means, either through the numbers or through the stars, in order to do that. And in fact, I think that was the whole thing of the three wise men in Bethlehem saw in the star. Wouldn't that
Mhm.
be kind of relating to more these metaphysical or
Yeah,
astrological aspects of when, and the fact that these three wise men would go in that sense? Does that make sense?
yeah, because what they saw was a great conjunction. When the wise men's, when you read that passage, it says, and they saw his star. They say they saw a star or the star. They saw his star. That was the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter,
Okay, okay.
which was the beginning of the Piscean era.
Yeah, there was a Saturn Jupiter late last year, or something like that, I think. Okay.
Yep, yep.
Interesting.
I think that was in December, like
Yeah,
December
December of
21st.
last year. Yep. Okay, good.
Yep.
Um, we're gonna take on some readings because it's piling up. So we're gonna do this,
Okay.
but I'm saving this part. You are also an author. Tell me about it.
So learning from let me ask you, what was it about
I'm not
our
here
exchanges?
because I don't know what you're gonna ask me.
You said to me, you need to write a book. And I was like, man, I'm a reverend at the church. Like, what you mean write a book on numerology? Like, what was it that made you say that?
Well, brother, I have been teaching for decades, and I can almost sense somebody who, shall we say, have a gift with this,
Mhm.
that it is kind of organic or natural to them. And part of encouraging to write that this is an ancient African subject, and yet you would not think that we were the originators or fathers of numerology other than Pythagoras, but he went into Egypt 22 years to study. So if I went
Exactly.
to anybody's country 22 years to study, I guess I'll come back being a daddy too. So what I'm saying is, so when I met Simon, Simon has a gift. Simon went from one book to 4 books. In fact, I understand you having another book, and your book is called, what did you call it?
It's going to be the same title, Namaste. The numbers will be a second edition, taking a deeper look.
Yes, and this one is, hold on now. I got this. Hold on. I went out of my way to try to be as creative as possible up in this joint. Okay, hold up right here, because I've got, here it is, right there.
That's it. That's it.
Namaste to numbers. Okay.
Yeah, and you basically when you said to me to write the book, I thought, what possible field could I come in? What new insights could I bring to the field of numerology from my area of experience, my area of expertise? Prior to meeting you, Lloyd, contrary to popular beliefs, I do pranic healing and energy medicine, but contrary to popular beliefs, I was very skeptical about the metaphysics, very skeptical. If I came across this, someone who claimed to be a psychic, I start praying in my head. I was one of those at
I
one
know the
point.
feeling. I know the feeling, brother.
I was that guy for a little minute. But then it like you said, it felt natural. As a child, I would always have these interesting dreams. That's the best way I could describe it. They were interesting. It was almost like you could do a meditation in a pool of water. And in this meditation, there's like gray film coming off your body and you come up healed. Like these are dreams I was having at 4 years old.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
in Bermuda, the license plate, well, how in the license in the United States, we have letters in the alphabets. I mean, letters and numbers.
Mhm.
In Bermuda, you only have numbers. And
Really?
so,
That's
yeah,
interesting.
I would literally just like on a bus, or I'm in a car, if I'm on my motorcycle, and I would just look at license plate numbers. I would always add them up. I had no clue I was doing numerology or this is what was going on, but I would look for patterns in numbers. So
You know
I
what's
would
interesting?
always see my birthday,
What's,
2088 something.
what's interesting? Kaya Princeton was on Monday, said the same thing. It coming up,
Mhm.
she would look at license plate, this, that, and the other. So
And you know
that's
what else I learned about Kaya? Her and
what's
I
that?
started studying with you both in 2017.
What's this again?
We both started studying with you in 2017.
That's exactly right. And look at you. Look at
Yeah.
you. This is nice. What made you, and by the way, I ain't going to front. He allowed me to write the introduction, and I'm just as proud. Y'all can't tell me nothing,
That's
okay?
it.
Joyce Craven wrote the introduction to this piece, okay?
Mhm.
And I'm very honored because I'm sure you could have picked Jeff. You could have picked Reverend Johnny Youngblood, But what I like also is the title of "Seeing God Through Numbers." Can you explain your book, how you did it? I mean, I
Yeah,
could,
so
but this is your book. This is your baby.
absolutely. So the word namaste comes from the Sanskrit greetings or the writings, and that word simply means that the God in me salutes or recognizes the God in you, or the divinity in me salutes or recognizes that divinity in you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's one of the common greetings at our church. At Mount Pisgah, that if you see anyone at Mount Pisgah, we'll say namaste before we say good morning. It'd be like
Interesting.
namaste. Yeah, instead of saying good morning, namaste, we'll say namaste, good morning. Because we recognize the God in each other. And as I studied numerology and I looked at the definition of the numbers from both systems in terms of the Pythagorean as well as the Chaldean, I started to see how each number told the story of God. And so when you said to write a book, I wrestled about it, I thought about it, and I was like, well, it'll come to me eventually. And
It
one
always
night,
does in time. Yeah.
it was a Thursday night. I don't remember the date exactly, but it was definitely between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And this thought popped in my head: Namaste to numbers. And I was like, Namaste to numbers. Say, yeah, fool, see God through numbers. And then I got up, I wrote down the idea, and I started doing some research, looking at different people who had maybe published on scripture and numerology, and everything seemed kind of, it had substance to it, but it it was just missing something for me. And so I just decided, you know what, let's just go ahead and write. Shocking to me is that the book was completed in under 2 days.
That's amazing.
From the time I started, from chapter 1, until the time I finished, it was about 2 days, and then from the time I finished to the editing and going back and forth, that was a little bit longer. But from actually the start to finish, it maybe took about 2 days.
Well, you know what I'm honored about is that you allowed me to see the manuscript. Then you asked me to write the introduction. And what people don't know is I, in fact, went to seminary school. Okay. And that's when it was defined for me, because I'm thinking of the Virgin Mary. How's Mary going to be a virgin and have Christ? You see what I'm saying? Or Jesus. But when I went to seminary school, it was explained that virgin at that biblical period meant any woman of marital age. Yes. Not the way virgin that we think of now. So it shows you how words has taken on meaning. So what one word means to one person may not mean the same to another. So that cleared a lot of things. So it's just very, very interesting how that worked.
And Lloyd, one of the things I discovered while I was writing the book, and I was still preaching and teaching on a regular basis at our church. One of the things I discovered was a passage of scripture. I believe it's like Mark chapter 4, verse 35, where, those of you who went to Sunday school, that's in the chat there, and I'm watching on my phone, so I see when y'all make them funny comments. I looked at this passage, and Jesus says to his disciples, go to the other side. And then they said that this great windstorm arises, and then water or the waves begin to crash into the boats. Now, one dimension of truth, I could look at and say, man, the disciples of Jesus, they're on this boat and they get into this bad storm. But another dimension of truth, as a metaphysician, or what I call myself as a metaphysical preacher, I look at the elements of nature in there. And so it tells me that this was not a literal storm, but it was literally, because air represents reason and logic and water represents our emotions. It was a storm or a clash of our reason and logic. So our mind was telling us one thing, but our heart was telling us something different. And we didn't have any kind of grounding or practicality in there.
Makes sense. But it's interesting, because I have to explain to people that numbers also speak to us in symbolic terms too. And sometimes we take things literal, not understanding that there's a symbolic meaning to the numbers that we have. So I tell you this, I mean, to me, it's a fantastic book, not because you wrote it, not because I wrote the introduction, but I mean, for those that really, if you really got a question about should you or should you not, because this goes against the laws of God, I would say this book demystifies all that. Definitely.
And that was the purpose of the book.
Huh?
That was my whole purpose of the book. When in my introduction, my remarks, I make it very clear. I'm not trying to convert anyone to any kind of religion system. I let you work that out on your own. If you want to talk about Jesus, you can give me a call on another line and we could talk about that. But if I would just want to demystify the ancient African sciences of numerology, astrology, and who knows what else will be demystifying, because I think as we move into this Aquarian age, it's a new type of spirituality. These are tools that we're going to need to be successful.
Before we get to the calls, and believe me, there are over 70 people wanting to talk to you. Okay, so
right.
Okay, Brandon, good luck to you. But before we go to the people that are chimed in, what do you say to people who, and I kind of lost my thought for a second. Oh, no, I didn't. You said you had a meditation thing this morning?
Yes. So
you said there's going to be a meditation this evening after this show, right? Can you explain so people can how would they get to tune in to hear you this evening at what, about 9 o'clock, I think you said?
Yes, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. For my birthday this year, I decided what's called my birthday meditation. And so we're literally going to meditate vibrate and celebrate life in the meditation. So I did one this morning at 7 a.m. Then I'm going to do another one this evening at 9 p.m. I'm actually going to post the link or the login and the password. I'll post that in the chat on Facebook. I'll post it a couple of times just in case, as we're going through, people may lose it. So I'll keep that information there so people can just go ahead and record it at 9 o'clock. If you can start to call in maybe like 5 minutes before, just try to be in a nice quiet space. We're going to go into, in my opinion, I think it's going to be a really rewarding experience with this meditation tonight.
Well, considering today your birthday, I would expect it. So what we're going to do is, and by the way, is your book available on Amazon?
Yes, it is available on Amazon in both paperback and the ebook.
And the ebook, announcing the ebook?
Yep.
Very good.
Both ebook and paperback.
Well, I'm telling you, this cover the cover is beautiful. In fact, you designed it yourself from what you told me, right?
Yes. My friend, she designed the graphics in the middle. For those of you who are familiar with the chakras, that is actually it's taken from the third eye chakra, or the ajna. And then that's the N, there's a number 2, and then another N on the side. So Namaste to numbers, and the half moon at the top. Because I am, ruled by the number 2, which has that moon.
Which is ruled by the moon.
Yeah, and that dot represents the sun, which is me.
I knew there was a reason for this. Okay. Anyway, what we're gonna do? Okay, here we go. Boy, there's a lot. So we're gonna take it. Now, listen. With 70-something people lined up, we can't do it unless I keep this man on for at least another hour. But he's got to get ready to do his meditation. This is his birthday. I told him I was going to sing to the brother to mess it up, but we ain't going to do that because Lloyd can't really sing. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Francis Rebels Bay. That's my buddy. That's my buddy.
No, Brother Lloyd, that's our buddy.
Yeah, that's our buddy. We're brothers too. Yeah.
Listen, once you brought him on the call, man, that's been one of my best friends, man.
Ironically, I met him on December the 7th of 1978. He's a 7, I'm a 7. When I came to the radio business in 1981, the very first guest I had on was this brother Rebels Bay. And it shows how you got to keep relationships with people. I don't know why people want to get ugly, but that's another story for another time. But anyway, we're going to turn this over to you. Okay, let's see what we got here. Everybody's giving kudos. I think okay. This is Carolyn Cruz, all righty? So you're on, buddy.
All right, Carolyn Cruz, her birthday.
She says tonight is full moon. Please give me a reading. She's January the 27th, 1953, out of Carroll, North Carolina.
Okay, so she is.
Now, what angle? Because there's so many. I think you said you're going to do the personal year or just whatever you feel comes to you. This is your show.
I'm just going to look at the personal year as a kind of overview. This year in 2021, rather, she was in a 6 year, 15 and 6. So it suggests to me that this year could have been about dealing with things around the home. This year would have been a little favorable to her because she's a 9, and we know that 9 and the 6 are very good, very compatible with each other. This year would have been about rebranding herself in some type of way, whether it was a physical way, whether it was something around the home, or even going back to school in some type of way. What's going to happen as this month actually started to kick in, she may have decided, I don't really want to be bothered with too much. Just kind of going to spend some time doing some reflection and introspection, and that's really going to carry over into the theme of next year.
Okay, good. Let's see.
Next year, I would say this is that it's a time to be very inspirational and about writing, but be very be on guard about argumentative and aggressive people.
Okay, that's what you would advise for this particular person?
Yes.
Okay, next is, let's see who we have. Oh, excuse me. We're going to get this guy. Brother Rebels Bay.
Oh yes, brother Rebels Bay. This is my ancient brother. Yes. So Brother Rebels Bay, Brothers Rebels Bay. Hmm. Also, he's in the 6th year this year.
I know. I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Something about the sixes. Okay. So this year, it suggests to me just that Brother Rebels Way would have been about in some kind of, again, going through some type of rebranding process. Next year is going to be very favorable for him. Wow. Um, there's going to be a number of books that I believe that he's going to put out next year. A number of writings, whether it's physical books, electronic books, some type of publications throughout next year. That's it's going to be very important, and it will have a very spiritual twang to it, very spiritual twist. Um, no, just knowing Brother Francis Rebels Bay, he's going to bring the element of grace to so many people, to the masses, because the 7 is ruled by the moon, which also rules the masses. So next year is going to be very large for Brother Francis.
Next, we have Lovely Styles. She's born on December the 14th, 1981. She says, please and thank you. She's coming from YouTube. She's watching us on YouTube. So what do you have to say about this particular young lady?
So this year, let's see. This year would have been about getting things together. She's in a 4-year. Thing about structure, order, discipline. For her going into next year is going to be a great year because she's a 5. She'll be going into a 5-year. This month, she may have thought about taking some trips, maybe short weekend travels. Miami Carnival wasn't too long ago, so it's very possible. Could have been
Right.
down in Miami turned up. But next year is going to be about making a conscious decision. One of the things that I learned from you, and I really hold on to this, Lloyd, is that the number 5 represents that fork in the road. So you come to a point where you've got to make a critical decision. If you go down one path, you know what that path is going to bring you. And so you've got to decide whether I'm going to do something new. I'm going to continue on with what I've been doing.
Okay, next, this is from Miss McQueen, Deborah McQueen. She is May the 8th of 1960.
So she would be, let's see here.
Oh, and King Simon, by the way, said peace.
That's my brother.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, King Simon, we talked about you bad too, brother. You should have tuned in earlier too.
Okay, so she is in a 9-year this year.
So what does that mean for her?
So for her, it means a few things. This is what I would say: be very inspirational. It's about being inspirational, and also being inspired, finding ways to be inspired. So maybe this could have been a year where she got involved with listening to podcasts. Maybe she got involved with doing some type of self-help type of work. Maybe even being interested in different cultures or different ideas. Maybe different types of meditations, just things that were different for her. Also, there were some things that weren't serving her over this last 9 years. This was really the time to bring it to an end, because starting in January, she's going to get a chance of what I call tabula rasa, which is a blank slate, to start all things new. And she'll really be able to plant some seeds for what she wants to grow in the next 9 years.
Well, I have a special message from this young lady. You know who she is?
Yes, that is my baby. My baby.
I know that's right. I know
Yes.
that's right.
So
tell us about your daughter.
My daughter
is and how do you say it? Lenza Can?
So that she's actually using her sister's account. My daughter is Erin.
Erin. Okay.
Yes, she's in my book. Her name is in my book.
That makes sense.
Yep. On page 18, I show how to break down the names, and I put her name in there. She is a Taurus. Her birthday is May 12th. She is a Taurus 3 person. So firstly,
what's the store for this little princess then?
She is this year. Interesting, Lloyd. I've never
that's why I did
this online.
Sometimes we just don't read our family, and so
Let me take a look here. What's going on with my baby? So she is in a 4-year. Okay. So it would tell me that this year would again be about some getting things together, young lady. Making sure that the homework is done. Maybe there's structure, things around the house. I know she's involved in a number of different extracurricular activities, dance and kung fu. And then also this year would have been about some sudden and unexpected changes. Next year is going to be, she'll be heading into a 5 year. So maybe she could be involved in a number of different clubs at school or something like that. Diversity. But yeah, that's my little girl right there. That's
Well,
my
I
heartbeat.
don't doubt
Yeah.
it. I don't doubt it. Such is the power of women. I don't care what age y'all come in. Y'all have more power than we give you credit for.
That's
Okay.
it. If she listen, Lloyd, if she would have called right now, I'd say, Lloyd, hold on real quick. Aaron's
Yeah,
calling.
I know, brother. I feel you. It's like
But
it's
don't
like
do that,
when
Aaron, because she would.
huh?
I had to tell her don't do that because she would.
Yeah, but it's okay. Listen, you got to take a break, brother. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I wouldn't take it personal. I would say that's what you do as a father. Next, we have Danielle. Uh, yes, Danielle. She says, "Peace, love, and light." Her date of birth is June the 5th of 1984. She was born in Jackson, Mississippi. What do you have to say for her, Brandon?
So what I would say is that this this year would have been may have been a little bit more quiet compared to other years. She is a very energetic person. She feels younger than people probably give her credit for. People might say, girl, you should chill out. She's like, nah, I got all this energy. I want to move. But this year she maybe like, I'm kind of chilling out a little bit. I want to just reflect on what it is that I'm doing. Like, want to make good moves. Next year for her is going to be a great year in terms of business and finances. So
I agree. I agree.
I'm make sure that you get my Cash App. Today's my birthday. And
oh, excuse me.
well, but next year for her, it should be really
and there's
good.
your Cash App right at the bottom line, okay? Please.
Absolutely.
DJ Smith, number 5. Don't forget.
And what I would also
she can
say,
send it to a little lady. Go ahead. I'm sorry for the interruption.
What I would also say is if she's interested in property, next year would be a great year to invest in property.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah, she should be having a good year. So, and she said again, your little lady said hi. So that's what happened. My grand, she's in Ohio, and her mom said Ari said hi, and I waved everybody up. I had to wave to Ari. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Next we have April Prince Domingo. And that is her name. And she's born on February 27th of 67.
Okay. Okay, this is another one. She's in this April. Is that okay? Yeah. April is in a 7 year. So it suggests that this year could have been I could say that this year may have been a little stressful, just in terms of dealing with maybe some emotional things, or maybe even just reflecting on some things emotionally, or maybe there could have been some emotional things kind of stirred up, or another thing that could have happened this year is that if there have been some questions that she's had, this has been a year that those questions would have been answered, or she could have gotten some insight or clarity on it. Next year should turn around things a bit more, just in terms of having a bit more structure, being a bit more practical. We'll be dealing with more of an earthy element, so she'll be able to be more down to earth and a little more grounded next year.
Well, a couple of people have been saying happy birthday, and in fact, this one is from Siobhan Patrice, and she is born. She's a Libra, so she's getting her dibs in. She's October the 8th of 1969, born in D.C.
Right. Okay, so she's in a 5-year this year. Oh, wow. Okay. She's in a 5-year. Let me get this year. All right. So this year would have been a lot of movement, action. Interesting is that we're in 2021, which tells me that universally, a lot of people would have wanted to use their freedom. A lot of people would have wanted to been traveling. Tired of being under these restrictions, can't travel, gotta wear the mask, yada 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 yada. Whatever the case is, whatever your argument or gripes may be, but you're ready for your freedom. This suggests that this year would have been about exploring or experiencing that freedom in some type of way. It may not have been literally or physically traveling, but what I've discovered is that you can be in your bedroom and be in another continent based on what you're reading or what you're studying, what you're watching on TV. So this probably would have been a time where if she did travel, it probably would have been a year of short weekend travels. But as she goes into next year, next year, she'll be going into a 6 year. And it's interesting, she's an 8, and the 8 and the 6 are like this.
Right.
So,
They are.
I would suggest that next year will be very great for her if she's looking to get into property, or I'm not sure what the marital relationship status is like, but next year there's definitely doors that open up for that.
The next one we have Sister Nguzi. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but I know this. She's born on August the 9th. It tells me she don't play, whoever she is.
Don't take no game.
Yep.
Don't take no game.
Yeah. So God's got to roll straight dealing with this sister. Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, let me see what's going on this year here. So this year would have been about maybe some sudden and unexpected changes, odd and unusual changes. There also could have been some secret enemies that may have appeared this year. She's in that 4 cycle, and we know that 4 rules the number of secret enemies. So it's very possible that there could have been some people who may have been talking about her behind her back because who she thinks she is. She's always the boss. You can't tell her nothing. Yeah. Those are some of the things that might have been going on this year. As she goes into next year, she'll then have to make a decision. What do I want to do? Do I want to continue on dealing with these people, or do I want to move in a different direction? Whether that could be in the area of career, whether it could be in the area of the home. There's some change that is being called for next year.
Okay. Now this one posed a question to me, but I'm going to let you answer it. It says, Rich Ones, hey Lloyd, if I did it correctly, June 17, 1983 is my destiny or my life path and a destiny. Please help. What would you have to say, Mr. Numerology?
Let me check here. Brother Simon helped me out the other night. Lloyd, you are the master at doing these calculations in your head. Simon said, "Man, I got a calculator."
Let's talk to Simon. He's getting lazy.
Look, Lloyd, I got calculator and paper, and I'm sweating.
Well, before you do, I encourage all of you to have it in your head, because when it's in your head, you don't forget. So what's happening? You got the calculator or computer, and there's a blackout. Okay.
Yep,
what do you do then? All righty. So to have it in your head, there was one of my students, I would hear paper flipping. I hear paper flipping. I haven't heard paper flipping in well over 2 years now. But the point is to encourage you to get it in your head, because if you looked at the movie Hidden Figures, okay, about the women, they call them computers, and it was in their heads. Okay. So Katherine Johnson, the one that gave John Glenn the go sign, because he wasn't going unless he got the sister's go sign. All right. And that changed the whole equation of the space race. That little black woman born on August the 26th. Okay. So anyway, they didn't even name the building after her, but enough of the stuff like that. So she's confirmed that, yes, you are number 8. You're definitely a number 8.
Yes. So his life path does add up to the 8. So it would suggest to me that in this lifetime, he's come to be an executive. He's come to learn good judgment. Also, that's the other thing related to that, having good judgment, sound judgment, not being a schemer or not being one who kind of manipulates people and things like that. being responsible in the area of finances and stuff like that.
Okay, good. Next we have TJ. He is born October the 15th, just 5 days before you. Happy belated birthday, TJ Johnson. All right, or yeah, Tom Johnson. So what would you have to say for him? Actually, he's got a couple of things going from my perspective, but this segment.
Yeah, he is in a 3-year right now. And so this year would have been about expansion in some type of way, creative expression. I'm not sure if he does anything pertaining to the arts or relating to governments or anything like that, but something around, I think something, he may have something to do with in the area of the arts. But this year definitely would have been about creativity, would have been about expansion, it would have been about growth. There may have been some difficult tasks, and it was like, the question may have been like, how am I going to get this done? And somehow he just found out that it worked out, it got done. So yeah, this year would have been very smooth for him. What I would say for him going into next year is to try to be as organized as possible. You'll find that in that 4-year, it's about sudden and unexpected changes. And what I like about how I've studied is that, Lord, you called a stress. Oh, look at that. He said he's a music collector. You taught us about stress numbers. What I've converted that to be is called growth numbers. So
that's a nice way of looking at it. So if you hear me use that, you know where I got the term from. Thank you, Brandon.
Exactly. Yeah. So the growth numbers, that gives me the area to grow in. And because he's a 6, I know that one of his stress numbers is the 4. And so it would tell me that next year would be about getting things together, maybe organizing things. If he's a music collector, it may be about reorganizing his collection or putting things in place, organizing his library or collections, whatever that could be.
I have to pause a second because Ari, my baby, said hi to me. She's 6 years old. Hi, Ari. Hi, honey. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Hi, honey. Hi, Ari.
Is this Ari that I meet Ari?
Yes, that Ari. Yes.
Okay, hi, Ari.
Hi, Ari. So
right.
I'm gonna be seeing her too. I, tell you, boy, the power of women. I don't care whether you're 6 or 60. Y'all got great power. You have no idea. Thank you, Ari. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm gonna calm down now. All right. This person is music lover. Alrighty. And they are born July 31st, 1978.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so this is a 7-year. So this would have been about some reflection, contemplation, really like getting yourself recentered. What you'll find is that next year, as you move into next year, you will also have to get things organized, especially maybe around the area of finances. So maybe this could be about, this could be a time where you're doing some research, because the 7 is associated with research. This could be a time about researching things that deal with money management or how to budget or something along those lines. Because next year it could be a little stressful in the area of finances.
Okay, I want to take a second before we continue, and we're going to spill over an hour. I said the show would only be an hour. I think I've lied for the last 7 years. Okay, but it's so
Lloyd,
fascinating.
Lloyd, when we talked the other day, you told me you was going to keep me longer than an hour, so it's all right.
Yeah, good. Ain't nothing like putting you on notice.
Yeah,
I put your banner underneath because how can people? Because we can't get to everybody. That's obvious. So how can they reach you? What kind of services do you offer? Can you just kind of give a little background on that? I know they can get you on Instagram and Facebook on Namaste to Numbers, the Cash App. But when you do personal consultations, can you explain what you do and how you service them?
Absolutely. So at Be Well Energy Wellness, that's a company that I've started. I have actually blended numerology consultant. I'm a pranic healer, so energy medicine practitioner, as well as a neuro-linguistic program.
Jeffrey Noble.
Yes, NLP. So neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
And so what I really do is created a holistic healing program where we look at the metaphysics, we look at your energy, and we look at what is the mind saying, what are the pictures and the things that we're creating in our mind. So some people like to blend those packages together where we're doing like coaching sessions to really achieve goals, to break through. Maybe there are things around healing, whether it's physical, emotional, psychological. You know, we look at how it is that we could work with you. I let everyone know I'm not a doctor. There's disclaimers on my website. Our certifications let us know that we're not replacement for traditional medicine. And I will tell you, continue to see your doctor. But what we do is simply additive or complementary. And so under my website, absolutely. Under my website, you can book your sessions, whether you want to do a numerology consult. If you want to experience pranic healing, you can do that. You can book a session there. If you want an NLP session, which is more like a cognitive behavior. So, you know, if we're saying things to ourselves that's really holding us back, we can use techniques to be able to undo that negative self-sabotage. And here's one of the things that I'm going to do for everyone that's watching tonight. From now until the 31st, to the end of this month, if you go to my website and you use the promo code LFL20, all right, I'm going to say that one more time. LFL, that's Learn from Lloyd, 20. You will get a 20% discount on my services, whether it's
repeat that again. So people, I know some people trying to get a pen and paper. I can see it. I mean, I ain't in the house. I know they trying to scramble for a paper and a pen to say. Now, can you repeat that again for them?
Exactly. Yeah. So if you go to my website and you use the promo code L as in Larry, F as in Frank, L as in Larry, 20. You'll get a 20% discount, whether it's a numerology session, whether it's a pranic healing session, or an NLP session. This session, this promo is only gonna last until the 31st. So if you
only 11 days.
Yeah. And you know, hey, listen, Lord, you know me, my birthday and name both add up to the 11.
11 is a 2. Yeah. Makes sense to me.
The street that I grew up on, the house I grew up on as a kid was 812, added to 11.
Really?
Okay. I was sitting down doing it like the math the other day. It was a number of things that just adding up to 11. So we got 11 days.
You're always discovering. That's the thing. And I've been doing this for like a minute. Okay. And I'm always still discovering things. And it's just absolutely amazing. But you got everything there for Brandon Smith. You know all of his titles, but go to his website, b-wellenergywellness.com, his contact number. By the way, can they call on this contact number? If they don't go to the website, can they call 866-649-6211 and say, listen, I'm going to apply for the LFF20 and get the discount over the phone too?
Yes. So if you call me, just say, hey, listen, I was watching the show. You got to tell me something that I said, though. You know, I know me.
Me too. Because just that you said something free. I said, no, I didn't say nothing free. Okay?
Exactly. You know.
No, I know when I say free. Okay.
But yeah, you can call me, and we'll definitely work that out. But again, it's only for 11 days. If you call me on November 1st, I can do a lot of things, but I can't change my price.
Okay, my man. Sound very authoritative. I like that. Yes. Come on, no free rides up in this piece. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next one. Everybody's saying happy birthday, man. I mean, it's like they're so nice, man. This one is Arita Parson, and she is born. You know, it's interesting. The number of people is getting in on the born on the 27th. That's interesting about a 27, and maybe because the moon had been in Aries for the last couple of days. I don't know which, and she's in Aries too.
Yeah. Now, Lloyd, you know what's interesting is when we talk about numbers and oppositions, we know that the 2 and the 9 are generally considered to be opposition numbers, right?
Right.
One of my closest friends is born. He's a Scorpio, born on the 27th. He's a 9. And so I discovered that law may not always be true depending on the composition of the numbers. So that's why it's always important to look at what's happening underneath the scenes.
Exactly. That's the more obvious. But then
Yeah.
again, his name may add up to a 2, like the name
Mhm.
Brandon might add up to a 9. So there's many factors, which is why I have my online course so people can learn really how to do this. And in fact, aren't you going to be doing an online course in the future, sir? Not that
I
I'm
will.
okay. Good
I
enough.
will. I'll be
Good enough.
launching my numerology course, and it'll be based out of my book, Namaste to Numbers. So we'll look at how the numbers in the scriptures make connections. It is going to be great.
And let me tell you this too. I bear witness, not again because I read the manuscript. He's my brother, and I wrote the introduction. But I'm saying because for years I have had challenges with the religious community about this. This is the only definitive book I know that makes it clear whether you believe in what we do or not. Again, there's a difference of a belief system and there's a difference of a science. Well, the way I mean, really, I gotta just take something so people can see it. It's just amazing how you do this, Brandon. That's all.
While you're doing that, Lord, I'll share with her. This year,
Oh yes, thank you.
so this year could have been about reconnecting with people from the past, um, in a very tradition, maybe a traditional kind of setting, whether it was going to reunions, weddings, funerals, and things of that nature. But it would have been maybe about people resurfacing from the past, maybe childhood friends or things of that nature. This also could have been year that was very beneficial in terms of finances. Next year, what she has to look forward to is this going to be very beneficial to her. She'll be going into a 9 year, which tells me is that this is about, again, bringing some things to a completion, so you're opening ways for new things to begin. um, you'll want to really kind of broaden your horizons, so maybe study different
Mhm.
cultures. You might think about taking that trip. Maybe you're like, what, I've really been wanting to take a long distance trip. It's been since I don't even know how long. Take the trip.
Yeah, well, King Simon chimed in a couple of times, and he said you're also a martial artist. That's one thing. I've been in
Yes.
the martial arts. You've been in the martial arts. King Simon's been in the martial arts. So, and in
Yep.
fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think Brother Rebels Bay himself at some
Yes, he
point was
is.
in the martial arts. You see what
Yes,
I'm
he is.
saying? But King Simon need to understand. Normally, people in the martial art that do what we do don't talk about. Well, yeah, we're in the martial arts. You know what I'm saying?
That's like putting a target.
Yeah. Thank you,
Well,
thank you.
here's the thing I learned about that target on the back, man. That's a risky game because you might run into somebody that's the real deal and get hurt.
Thank you.
And I'm
Thank
I'm not I ain't threatening nobody, but I'm just saying you roll up on me the wrong way, you might forget.
Amen. I was
You
always taught you fight to the death.
Yeah, you're gonna forget that REV in
So
the front of my name. You're gonna
me,
be like,
I'm very
wait.
peaceful. It'd be chop chop B, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But
I
but
can play and
most
fight.
yeah, but most of us who are really into the martial arts, you rarely, unless we among our colleagues,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and talking about it. But we all know, like, don't mess with King Simon. I can tell you that. Don't let the height fool you,
Mm-mm.
okay? And
Mm-mm.
so what I'm saying is, most of us who have done that, normally it's not about a bragging thing, but if put to the test, we will go to the mat. So that's all I can say for those
Absolutely.
who understand. And I'm sure there's a lot of martial artists out there that understand exactly where we're coming from. It's not, but thanks, Simon. Okay, I got that straight now. All right, Simon, good. Uh, okay, this is Trina Carter. She's born May 14th. What do
All
you
right.
have to say for her?
So she's in a 6 year this year. I was eight. Wow, Lord, you saw how fast I did that? 555, boom, 15 and 6.
Yeah. No, no, no.
Oh, check me
What I'm saying,
out.
guys. Exactly. Hey, listen, we get better every day, buddy. Okay.
Yeah. So what it tells me is that this she's born under the sign of Taurus. So this year would have been favorable to her, being in that 6 year. There may have been some changes in terms of the home, and she may have had to take on some additional responsibilities or things like that in the home, or maybe she took it upon herself to do some renovations in the area of the home, decided to make some changes just in that area of the home. What she's going to discover next year is that she's going to be like, you know what, I worked hard last year. I'm taking a break.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna take a break. Maybe You're like, you know what? I could take maybe a 2 month trip. I've decided I've put in that work. You know, I'm just going go on a cruise. I'm gonna go see the world. Life is short, right? I guess whatever. But you know, but it does suggest to me that this year would have been about handling some duties and responsibilities, where it may have caused she may not have had the freedom that she wants to. Um, she likes that freedom, that ability to travel and move. But that 6 is an earth number, so it suggests that she may have been tied down a little bit more to the earth this year. Next year, she may travel more so mentally, so maybe reading, meditations, podcasts, whatever the case may be.
Okay, now we have Brother James Weddington, who was born in San Francisco, California on the 16th of September of 1976 at 8:30 a.m. So that means his sun is probably in about the 11th house, I would say. Now, yes, his sun would be in the 11th house, in the very edge, it'd be cusping the 12th and 11th house. I've been taught this by one of my colleagues, my partner in Detroit, that taught me this. Anyway,
Okay.
what do you say about Mr. Weddington?
So this year, interesting that you said that where his sun is at. If you said his sun is around the 11th house, which is the house of like-minded people, the like of groups.
Yep, groups. Yeah.
This year would have been a very social year for him. He's in a 3-year. So this year, he may have found that it could have been about connecting with people or chatting with people, or just meeting people, networking. This would have been a kind of creative cycle. I wonder if he does anything pertaining to writing, or whatever it is that he does.
He has literary numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell. Yeah, whatever he is, I could tell he's an expert at it as well. So people will probably come to him and say, "Hey, James, how should I do this? Or what should I do with this?" Based on his name alone, I can tell that he's a leader. You know, there's a way in which he's a leader. People will look to him to take that lead. His outlook on life will be like, "Hey, let's grab the bull by the horns and run with it."
Now, what I'm going to do, I spilled over. I don't want to go too far over because you got to be prepared to do your meditation class at 6 and respond to people and send them links to them. So we're going to just take 3 more, and because I want to wrap it up where people can get in touch with you again. I also want to remind people I will be out in Detroit this particular Saturday. But in the meantime, let's take Renee Wilson. She is born on the 8th of June. Out of Syracuse, New York. Get it, June. It's cold up in Syracuse too, girl. Okay.
So this year she's in a 1-year. So this year is about all things new for her. This is a chance for the next 9 years where she gets to plant the seeds for what she wants life to look like. This is that last year it could have been about definitely would have been about bringing some things to an end. And as this month started to roll in, as October started to roll in, she would discover that there might be some new people that she'll start working with next year. Maybe there may be some new people that she met. This also is a time. Yeah, I'll say next year. Next year is a time where she could find that she needs to pay attention more to her gut, more to her emotions, more to her hunches and feelings. To see, what would be the best way to move. She is a boss figure. She's definitely one who is, I think, based on her numbers, I wouldn't be surprised if she may have thought about starting a business this year, in 2021.
Okay, we got one more, and this is V. Simpson. She's a Libra, but she's in the September side of Libra, born September the 28th of 64.
Oh, interesting. Another 6-year. So this year probably would have been a little more restrictive. Maybe even the word I may even want to use is this year might have quenched your fire a little bit. There might have been some things happening this year that was kind of smothering her fire. What she'll find is that next year things will go a little bit smoother because the 2 and the 6, they're a little more harmonious. The 1 and the 6, there's a little more tension there. it's this, especially there could have been some tension in the area, maybe of the home and family. There maybe could have been some issues pertaining to upper respiratory health, or allergies or sinuses, or things of that nature. What she'll find is next year it'll be more like, let me just kind of take a backseat a little bit and just reflect and recharge and recuperate about what was just happening in 2021.
Makes sense. Brandon, listen, I can't thank you enough, but before we get off here officially, I've got to put up all your information. Now, for your meditation that starts in under about 50 minutes, how again do they go to link up to tune into, since today's your birthday and you did 2 meditations, one this morning, you're about to do one in less than an hour.
Actually,
Where do they go to do this, please?
Lloyd, I'm gonna send.
And how do you send a link to them? Do they contact you, email you? How do they do that, buddy?
What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna actually put it in the chat on Facebook. I'm gonna put the Zoom ID as well as the password, and all they have to do is go on Zoom and all they have to do is just go on Zoom, put in the ID and password at about 8:45, 8:50. Actually, yes, I would say closer to 8:50, 8:55. I'm gonna spend just a few seconds getting my life together. The password is Libra 2.
Libra 2 makes sense. Makes all the sense in the world to me. Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you guys an idea about this meditation. It is really going to be about remembering our greatness. We're going to go on a journey to remember. Essentially, that's what tonight is going to be about. Using different visualizations and breathing. I put the chat. I mean the Zoom information in the chat, where it has the ID as well as the password. My Facebook profile, I believe, is open to my friends. So if you follow me on Facebook, Brandon Jamal Smith, that's Jamal. You'll be able to see where I posted the link. Lloyd, I'll post it on your site, on your page.
Okay, good. So
that way people can go ahead and actually what I'll do, because what time is it? No, it's 8:15. Y'all got enough time to figure that out. It's going to be on my page. It's going to be on Lloyd's page. If you want to hop on the meditation, join us. If you don't, it's all good. I appreciate the love that y'all shared with me tonight. It's my birthday. I love it.
Yeah. Listen, what a nice way to have a birthday too.
Yeah.
And don't forget to support him on. Also, he has a contact number 866-649-6211. And don't forget, he does provide the reading that is totally different from the rest of our colleagues of Kaya, King Simon, Jackie, and myself, which is he's including other modalities into his numerology reading, which sets you apart, my friend. Okay. So that's what I try to tell all that I teach, to find your own niche. And obviously you found yours. Jackie's found hers, King Simon, Kaya, and a host of other people. So I can't thank you enough. Any parting words, my friend?
Brother Lloyd, I just want to say thank you. On behalf of all of us, the numerologists that we've learned from you, man. You've produced, brilliant minds. You really took the keys and helped to unlock what was on the inside of us, and so we're forever grateful for you.
But you know what's funny? When you did a revival in your bedroom at about 6 years old, that was the funniest thing to me. That was.
Hey, listen, my mom really said, "Cut that racket out." I was like, "Enough before the offering."
You tried to save souls up in there, okay?
Yeah,
that's funny. That is funny, Brandon. Love you much, man. You are the best, my brother, in every sense. I say to you, Namaste, us. Okay.
Yes, sir. In the word of send it, our hands open to receive. Yes, sir. So I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this on your Facebook page. I'll put it on my page, and we can we'll look to see each other at 9:00.
Good. Hold up, Brandon. Just before you go, I gotta put your book on blast again for people that might say, "Where's your book?" Hold on. Let me see something. I'll get this. Where is it? It's here. Yeah, I got it. Hold on. You got to get this book. I'm telling you, For those of you, if you're straddling the fence between, things of that nature, this is the book to read. Namaste to Numbers, Seeing God Through Numbers. I love the subtitle because God sees everything through numbers. The world was created in 7 days. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Everything deals with numbers. And I just think it's unfortunate that it is very divisive than it should, where it should be cohesive, because one is spirituality and one is religious. So,
Well,
all tied in together.
I think what we have really in front of us, and when I say us, I really mean the world. Because you and I, we're world transformers. We're not just here to transform local communities. As we share this knowledge, I think that we're opening those doors for people to really begin to see the truth of the metaphysical sciences.
Yeah, no question, no question. And you are one of the best. The one thing about it, obviously, and there it is right there. And Brandon Smith, brother, and I love the symbologies, the sun and the moon, the number 2, that's you, obviously, but it's not. And please say hi again to your princess. I hope that made her very happy.
Yes, Aaron, thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I'm gonna call you after my meditation.
Well, do you have a choice, my brother, but not to love her? Okay.
Yeah, listen, I wouldn't have it no other way. That's my baby.
Amen on that. Amen on that, buddy. Brandon,
Yes.
thank you so much. Everybody, hold on a second. I'm trying to get some things together here. Let me do this. Brandon, if you can hold on for just 1 second, I'll be right with you, buddy. Okay. Everybody, I want to thank you very, very much. This was a fun show for me, but all of them are fun. Now, I remember I was so nervous. I couldn't even look at myself, about this, that, and the other. But now I'm very excited about doing this. On Monday's show, we're going to have Matthew Walker, who's an astrologer. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have a person who, her name is Audrey Rumbers, and she deals in quantum physics and make the most extraordinary pyramids that one could ever feast their eyes on. And for this this Saturday, the 23rd, I will be with Sister Kaya French in Detroit. So there is the appointments are filling up, from what I understand. There's limited seating. It's just going to be from 1 to 6. There's only a choice of either 15-minute readings or half-hour readings. So to go to sign up and register, get your space to see, and you can see both of us. You can't see us at the same time, though. But you can see her, and then later you can see me, or you can see me, then see her. But go to her website to sign on. That's KayaFrench.com. KayaFrench.com. I know you'll got to get a pen and paper a second, so I'm going to repeat it again. It is Kaya French, KayaFrench.com. So I look forward to seeing you on Saturday the 23rd, and then by that time we'll be in the sign of what you call it. Hold up, everybody. So I just want to thank everybody. Let me get this out the way. One of the things when you're learning hands-on, hold up. Let me do this. I got it. There we go. So, Brandon, the one thing is when you're learning hands-on, buddy, that's the nice thing about it. So anyway, though, you have a blessed day. Happy birthday. And I'm going to try to see if I can tune in myself to the meditation. So I'm asking all of you, please go to his link. All right. A good brother, please pick up his book, Namaste to Numbers, Seeing God Through Numbers. And you got to, the title, the cover of the book is cool. But if you read the concept of how he breaks this down and pulling passages from different sections, God seeing numbers through the number 1, God seeing numbers through the number 2. I mean, this is a very original work. And I would suggest everybody, especially who is into the church and whatnot like that, if you want some clarity, this is the book to have. Namaste to Numbers, Seeing God Through Numbers. Everybody, this has been fun. I definitely overstayed my welcome. I got to get out of here. Everybody, thank you so much. I'll see you in Detroit on Saturday, and I'll see you Monday here on Live with Lloyd, where the joy of numerology is the joy of learning and enlightenment. I really appreciate this. And to all my guests, thank you so much, and God bless.